What's up everybody, we're back with another video, and in today's video we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look at the new fish that I got a few weeks ago. These are not the African cichlids, these are another new fish, and I got this guy nearly 2 weeks ago now, and I was having a lot of issue with getting him to eat. He only started eating literally like 3 days ago, so now I'm trying to make sure that he's eating well and he's getting all the food. He's quite an interesting fish, and I think you guys will like to find out what he is. And so here he is, my African Adowo pike. Adowo pike. He's at the back, there he is. A very wicked fish indeed. This guy is roughly 8 inches, and as you can see, I have finally gotten him eating. He doesn't eat pellets or anything just yet. He eats shrimp. I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to get him onto pellets. These guys can be quite difficult to get off of live foods to begin with. But he seems to be doing quite well. I kind of bought him on a whim. Basically, there was an auction going on, and I bid for him, not expecting myself to win. And I did. So I ended up getting him, and he is a really cool looking fish. He's kind of the equivalent. Oh wait, I don't even know where he's gone now. Oh, there he is. He's basically like the poor man's tiger fish, and the reason I say that is because this, as you know, through its name, is another predatory fish that originates from Africa. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't like coming to the front, so we're not really going to be able to see his teeth very well. And excuse the shaking, I'm trying to like take off pieces of prawn and feed him. There you go. So you guys can see that he eats. But he kind of does give off a very similar vibe to an African tiger fish. He's got the nice teeth. He's very missile shaped. He's got a similar coloring. Body shape isn't exactly the same, but he does look like a formidable predator, and that is basically what he is. So Adowo pikes can grow up to 2 feet in the wild. They're more commonly going to be found maxing out at 1 foot long, which is, like I said, yay big. And he's already 8 inches, so, you know, he's almost full grown for the aquarium. I do want him to get bigger. I mean, you know, to see this guy bigger would be very cool. But I have no complaints if he gets to only 12 inches, because then he can pretty much stay in here for his whole life with everybody else. But, you know, you can see, I can definitely see there's a small, like, little lump forming under his belly, which is telling me that he's eaten, and I missed Jangi his food. That's telling me that he's eaten quite well. And, wait, this guy jumped. Didn't expect him to jump. These guys are expecting food, but I fed them yesterday, and I fed them quite a bit, so I'm not feeding them today. I'm only feeding him just for the purposes of this video. But like I said, I kind of got him on a whim, and I was really nervous. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not think he was going to make it after his first few days. I genuinely thought he was going to die of starvation. And the worry was twofold. I saw him sometimes trying to go for pellets, because usually I feed from here. This is where I feed from. But everyone congregates around here, and they always push this poor guy out of the way. And obviously that makes it quite difficult for him to get food. So I thought that he was gonna become weak, someone was gonna pick on him, and someone was gonna kill him, because he wasn't, yeah, he was a bit skinny after a few days, and he was kind of just hiding up in the corner where, hello Edward, where everything gets quite dark. So he was trying to stay hidden, and he did a good job of it. He's still quite scared of the arowana. It seems like he doesn't like to come in its way, so he does kind of get kind of skittish around him. But all in all, for the moment, you know, fingers crossed, touch wood, whatever you want to say, he has started to fit in quite nicely. I think the only fish that he's giving trouble to is the severum, and that's just because the severum kind of stays on this side of the aquarium, and when I drop food in for the pike, you know, maybe the severum tries to go for it, so the severum kind of gets pushed to one side. But Yeah, see, so he tries to like stay out of the arowana's line of sight. I think he knows that he's not big enough to take him on yet, or I don't think he'll ever be big enough to take him on. But he is a very beautiful fish. He's got some interesting markings on his side, and his teeth are very, very, you know, predatory. I know that sounds really dumb, but like, you know, Oscars are predatory, and I don't even know if they got teeth. They just open their mouths and inhale. These guys have tiny little like needle teeth. These guys have tiny little needle teeth. These guys have tiny little needle teeth. You know, he's got human teeth, but he's primarily supposed to be herbivorous. But these guys have proper, you know, proper jaws full of canines, basically. Is just all of the teeth are basically canines. And they've also got a very interesting mouth shape. It kind of reminds me of a salmon, with the way that their face is like slightly angled upwards. Oh, at least the lips are. So when they part their mouths, they have like a thin upper jaw and a lower, thicker jaw. They're quite commonly found in Africa, but you don't really see them in the home aquarium that much, and the reason is because it isn't the easiest thing in the world to ship them. Especially at this size, it can be quite stressful for the fish, and they don't always make it. Smaller fish are more successful to ship, but they're very finicky when it comes to feeding them, and so I think they also have a hard time keeping them alive when they're smaller, just because of, oh my gosh, look at this, the Pacu is fighting back. Edward's lips have become really thick. Now look at them thick lips. He's got a thick nupal hump growing, and he's just a beautiful fish. But yeah, so he is the new addition to the tank. It was never planned. I never like, oh, this is a fish I want for my tank one of these days. It was just this looks really interesting, and I know a bit about them. I've seen them in the past, but I've never ever thought about owning one, and then I just put a bid in, and it worked out really well. Majority of these are wild caught, so they tend to be kind of on the expensive side, so I got them quite cheap, about £30. You know, and these guys, especially at this size, are going for like £50 and up. So, not too bad, and they're not exactly the easiest fish to find in the aquarium hobby, so I would like to keep him around for as long as I can. Only worry is obviously that he might jump out of the small lip here that I leave open every now and then. Oh, but for the most part, he seems to be alright and doing fine with everyone in here. I mean, like, the Midas, for example, was tiny when he came into this tank, and he's putting on some size, so he's definitely getting fed, and it doesn't look like he's getting picked on by the aggressive Pacu or the aggressive albino gourami. I love how well the albino gourami shows up on the camera, and then you look at the Pacu and the camera has such a hard time picking him up. Poor guy. But yeah, so everyone else is actually doing pretty well in this aquarium. Some of the tinfoil barbs, I think maybe one or two of them, if I'm not mistaken, have, I think this guy has like a small abrasion on his head. I think he's either jumped or he's run into this. So that might be happening when I'm not looking. He might be chasing them, or he might be chasing them, I don't really know. But there's no like torn fins, no gouging, no fish being picked on excessively anymore. So the balance of the tank has started to calm down, which I'm really happy about. And hopefully these guys will continue to grow and play nice together. These two like to do their little tussle every now and then, but the Pacu has started to fight back, so the aggression has kind of died down a lot more than it had before. So that's it for today's video. I've had this guy for like 2 weeks, like I've said, but I just wanted to make sure that he was eating and was going to survive before I made a video on him. And just in case, you know, I made a video a bit too early and then he got battered around, and I have to bring you like a video like straight up saying, oh no, he died. I wanted to make sure that he was a-okay and that he's actually like, you know, become accustomed to how the tank works, and he kind of has. So fingers crossed, you know, like I said, touch wood, that nothing goes wrong with him and he will be a part of our channel for a lot longer. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and as always, keep safe, peace out.